So here we are, about 100 days out from King of the Platform 5. Starting my first session today. Here we go. Say hello to the boys. Starting the morning off the same. Feeding all the little baby goats. There we go. There we go, ladies. She's a little skittish. Come here, Maggie. Come on, Maggie. It's Athena. You got Luna. You got Giggles, Miss Giggles. She's pregnant. Look at that little baby in there. Then you got a boy in here. He's not supposed to be in here, but he is for now. He's a little bit of a player. Look at him. Beautiful little dude. Loki is his name. Anyways, day one. Prep. King of the Platform 5. December 6th. It's going to be fun. Move through the first couple warm-up sets pretty quick. Go up 25. First we'll start the singles. So I took one more warm-up, which didn't record, which was just 315 for one. And now here we are at 365. I'm going to do 6 sets of 2. And planned was Larson, mid-grip. Mid-grip is, right, so this is the ring where normally people put their fingers. This is the inside of the knurling where people normally count for their close grip. Mid-grip to me simply is this, the middle of the grip. We're going shirt on. I do train in a shed here in Florida that gets upwards of 120 degrees and it's not AC or insulated. Best I have sometimes this fan here. So the bench can be quite slippery, so cool off with no shirt first few sets. Put the shirt on or else I'm going to be sliding all over this thing. This will be set 1, 6x2, 6 sets of 2 reps. And I'm going to attempt the first set, which I wasn't expecting to do originally, with some shoes on. Fortunately, I'm wearing these fucking Adidas slippers, not my normal bench shoes. But I'm not going to be putting any leg drive into this for fear of aggravating my injury all over again, going backwards instead of forward in the healing process. That went surprisingly well. Set 2. Footwear change. After 3 successful bench press sets with my feet on the floor, getting a little bit more confident. Still, I'm not putting any leg drive at all. I'm still a little bit nervous there, but this will be the first time I'm wearing proper footwear for bench in quite a long time. This is very good news for me. I am happy about this. So let's try with some proper footwear. 4 sets down. Let's go, set 6. Let's go. To the shred shed we go. So now we move from the bench shed, bench barn. Really haven't thought of a cool name yet, but we are heading over to the shred shed, which you will see why in a minute. Walk over here. I have the door open just to let it cool down some. Let's go straight. It's pretty cool here today. Not the typical super hot summer day, luckily. And we are at, let's see, not too bad. About 112 degrees. Not super bad. So one thing you might find different that I do than other people is I only warm up for the first movement. Meaning, if I bench that day, like today, I warm up for the bench, as I showed earlier. But everything after that, I go straight for the working weight. I'm not wasting any energy messing around, warming up, when it's already warm. It's 112 degrees in here. I've already done 6 sets of bench. So why would I warm up for my next movement on incline, which is just bench? And after then, my triceps are warm, my back is warm, my biceps are warm, literally everything on me is warm. So there's nothing that I'm going to do as a warm up from here forward. I'm only gonna go straight to my weight, and that's the same thing I do for deadlift day, squat day, whatever. If it's deadlift day, I warm up for my deadlifts. If it's RDLs or stiff leg deadlifts after, I go straight to the weight. Hamstring curl, leg extensions, everything I do, I just go straight to the working weight. Zero movement or zero warm up at all. And I find this to be much more efficient, not only time-wise, but energy-wise, so I'm only using my energy where it matters. The only thing that matters is your working sets. Everything else is nonsense. So I'm gonna put 100% effort to my working sets and not play around in the middle with all the other nonsense. So we're on the first secondary movement after our primary movement. I've been debating heavily on what it should be. A mixture of either incline or low incline that I'd like to call this. Floor press, which I very much enjoy. Floor press mid grip, which is what it would have been. Or using the buffalo bar, you know, the arced bar for more range of motion. But I've settled on today being incline. I absolutely will change it if I don't think this is the best strategy. The reason I'm choosing incline is because efficiency. I've removed all overhead pressing and essentially all shoulder work, as that's not a lacking area for me. I don't lack small shoulders or shoulder strength, and I don't really have many shoulder issues. Smooth. And now, probably my most favorite machine that I may own, maybe it's this one. It's a Pro Maxima, old school Pro Maxima, slight incline pec deck. And this thing is a monster. Took me about 1.5 years to hit the full stack. Over the course of my off season, I got up to full stack plus about 15 pounds. I'm regressing now to just full stack, looking for cleaner reps as I pulled all the weight back at the beginning of prep, which gives me a better lead up over time. I follow simple progression. I hit my reps, hit my sets, then I add weight, and I just do that from the start of prep all the way to the end. You can see it's full intensity at all times though. 2 sets of 6 is the goal. So you might notice throughout this training video log as I go through this prep that I'm generally low volume, high intensity, usually 1, maybe 2 sets, anywhere from 4 to 8 reps, never more than 8. Usually 6 is my target. And generally I'm using machines. So this is what people might call bodybuilding, or a terrible term called power building, which is nonsensical, and it's really just a marketing scheme. But for me, this has worked best as I use my primary movements first to focus more on the actual competition movement, squat, bench, and deadlift, and that's enough practice for me, a couple of sets. That's why I do things like the 6x2. I'm getting more first rep practice for the skill set and to drive specificity in competition sense, being more specific about my training. But everything after that is just getting stronger. But I do want to put the energy where it matters most, and you will see me trying to be efficient as possible in all of my training, picking movements that are in the same area without having to walk across the field to the pole barn. So really, the easiest way to get stronger is to get bigger. So something like a pec deck is going to be, in my opinion, probably the best movement to add real muscle tissue to your chest. And it's removing everything else. There is no tricep, there is no bicep. I am truly getting the maximum amount of movement and pec movement, which if I just push my hand forward, the pec deck is still the movement I'm looking for. And as I just rotate my arm down to look like a bench press, and as I come forward, that's a bench press. This is the pec deck. The only difference is the shoulder rotation. Actually, for me, the bench press is a skill set movement more than chest and tricep, right? Let's go. And now for some indirect tricep work. I say indirect because we are not locking the shoulder, which makes it an indirect tricep movement, because the shoulder moving takes away directly from the tricep being isolated by itself. One thing of note when you're doing JM presses, especially on something like a Smith machine, it's really easy to turn it into a close grip bench. So if you watch what I'm doing, I am internally rotating my elbows and bringing my elbow as close to my body will let me, my bicep is dragging across my chest and then my lat. Now, if you're a bit thicker in the back, like I am, you'll see that my elbows do flare out some, but you will pay attention that I am guiding across my body the entire time. I am trying to keep my elbows up as high as possible, as much as your mobility will allow you to, but my forearms is what I'm really focusing on, to point them towards the ceiling when I'm at the bottom. So that is my goal. Whether or not my elbow drops a little too low or not, I'm not too concerned, because my focus is forearm to the ceiling as best as I can. Again, this is one of my favorite machines. Again, it's a Pro Maxima, old school leverage curl. Isolateral, meaning they were separate. There's no piece in between, so I can do these single arm. So I'm at 65 pounds for my right arm. I have some elbow issues here, if I mentioned earlier. So the weight is lower, and I will be assisting with my other hand as needed. My left arm, elbow isn't so bad. I can push the weight, and I'm at 90 pounds here, 75, 85, 90 pounds. Same thing, this time I'm only gonna do one set of curls. This has worked very well for me in the past. I will be going directly into a 90-degree chin hang. I'm a big fan of isometrics when it comes to strengthening tendons, connective tissue and other issues there, especially in powerlifting, jiu-jitsu, MMA, where the elbows particularly get beat up and overuse. This is something that I've used over and over again throughout the years, and now I'm implementing it into my program. Not so much as something that's really going to aid in any strength, but this is, even the curls here are a preventative measure to keep the elbows and biceps happy. And you'll see that I'm probably not going to go full depth here for the curl, but I'm going to do the best I can to move these as safely as possible. That right elbow is particularly unhappy today. I will be dropping the weight drastically, but continuing the movement in my training. But I'm going to be dropping off 15 pounds, going back down to 50 here. Such is training. Left arm shouldn't be a problem at all. Eight reps there at 90, and I could move up weight next week another 2.5 pounds, but I'm going to stay there as this is a test workout week to see how the program is working, so I can adjust weight, adjust movements that we've done already. I'm just going to notate this in a book now directly, no rest, into the hangs. Bit of a cramped shred shed we have here. It's a 12 by 30 shed, and I have just about every piece of equipment you could ever need in here. So now, directly into the hangs. It's been quite a while since I've done these. Really not sure how it's gonna go, but we're gonna find out. Chin up. The idea is to hold it just at 90 degrees, and holy hell, this bar is hot as shit. Oh, I'm not sure how long that was, but with the video I'll be able to get the counter out, and the goal is 30 seconds before I add weight. I'm highly doubtful that was 30 seconds, but here we are, coming up to the pole barn for the later half of training. Here you go. We got some outside equipment here, as we'll be using most of this throughout prep. We got our deadlift area over here, but for now, moving to this guy for some back. Here to this badass back piece here. You have pull down cable, you have mid grip row, you have wide grip row. Badass machine. The stack is heavy as hell. Constant fighting out here in Florida with the humidity and rain, and being an outside gym that really has got covering but little to none at all. It's just keeping everything rust free. As you can see, the machine itself is quite rusty, which I care more how it works than how it looks. And this machine works very well. And we're going for some wide grip, palms down, wide rows here. We're trying to target, of course, lats. Anytime you pull something towards you is lat, but since I'm not doing any rear delt work or mid delt or upper delt, as in overhead pressing, has now been removed completely from the program. Just as I chose to do the high incline to include some front delt, which will also incorporate side delt. Doing a row to target mid back. Of course, we're getting full lat, but this will also incorporate the delts, where I still am getting full delt training without having to give up any time or in place of another movement to focus on delt strength. So here we go. And as always, 2 sets of 6. Probably more important than the WD-40 or almost anything I have here is wasp spray. In the summertime here, the red wasps that we get are particularly angry, and they want nothing but to sting you in the face. I just got stung yesterday in the face, the day before in the leg, minding my own business of course, but they usually hide up here in the columns. They pop out of everywhere, and it's a constant battle with those guys. But I'm hoping that it's just like getting bit by one of those radioactive spiders. It may be the key to my power here. Set 2. Fucking wasp. Here we are yet again on another Smith machine, this time Body Masters, inside being the Magnum. I'm somewhat of a machine connoisseur. I like equipment, especially the old school stuff. Once again, pissing off the powerlifting gods, using a Smith machine here. We're going to do some single arm suitcase shrugs. Ooh, heavy boy. Let's go. We could talk a lot about why we do these, but in all honesty, who doesn't want traps all the way up to their ears? I know I do. So yeah, it may help in your deadlift, slack pull, and everything else, but come on. Let's just get some big ass traps. Let's go. A little bit dizzy. Whew. Don't be afraid to put a little English in these. I'm really just trying to move absolute as much weight as possible. I'll do some cheat rows all day. This ain't the one for me to be strict on. Ah. And now finally, for the last movement. Now I need to stress first that I'm not doing this for abdominals. I'm in the camp of, if you're training properly, that you do not need to do any direct abdominal movement. I don't do sit-ups, crunches, ab wheel, whatever, leg lifts, none. If you want abs, you know, get skinny, whatever, fix it in the kitchen, right? My hip flexor, generally because of my adductor issue, it's still very weak. So as I lay back and put this weight over the longest lever, it's going to be pulling on my hip flexors, and then I'll be pulling through my legs the best I can to then sit up with the weight, putting the most strain on my hip flexor, while at the same time putting some isometric contractions on my lower back, my lower lumbar, and of course through your abdominals as well for some isometric strength, which is crucial in bracing for the squat, the bench, and of course the deadlift as well. And my goal is not only to increase the weight over time with these, but to increase my depth going down, ideally to creating that thoracic extension to build a better arch, a stronger arch in the bench press, and just overall just better mobility and strength in thereof. So here we go. And we're only doing one set, max effort. So as I'm locking my legs in, I already feel my right hip flexor straining. I want a minimum of 8 reps, but we're gonna find out here in a second. Oh yeah. A lot of strain in that abductor. Getting a bit deeper. Oh, that's about it. For today is good. And if we're looking at weight, this is a little tricep bar. I'm not sure if it weighs 15, 20, or 25 pounds. I'm just counting it as 0. And then whatever weight I add to it is what it is. So this is 15 kilograms, which is about 33 pounds. So if this is 15 pounds, it's 48. Or if it's 25 pounds, which it might be, the bar could be, what's that, 58? So somewhere between 45 to 60 pounds, but we're counting it as 0 plus 15. 10 reps to start. The idea is here, build it up to 12 reps, going deeper. And once I can do that, I will add weight and continue all through prep. I'm curious how this is going to go over the coming weeks. So that's day 1 of my secondary bench. Really a test day to see how the program will go, make any necessary changes that I'll need to make. Obviously I've already made a few, I've already mentioned. So this day is focusing more on pressing power and not so much actual competition bench, which will be my primary day later in the week. So I found some weaknesses. I found some strengths. The main factor here being I can indeed put my feet back on the floor. Today was the first day I've done so in nearly 3 months. Maybe I haven't benched with my feet on the floor in 3 months. It's been 100% either floor press or Larson press, just to remove the actual option of even hurting myself again. We're about 100 days out from the King of the Platform 5, where I'm hoping to do, well, better than last year, where I had an 1851 total at 205 pounds is what I weighed in at. That's a 535 dots. I'm 41 years old. When I compete, I will be 42. So, of course, I compete in the open, but also my slide goal of being the #1 old guy in the world in the 220 weight class, which is actually already a pretty serious total of 2K. But my vision of that happening this year is not likely, as I've been rehabbing for almost 3 months straight, and then I'm going to be rehabbing into prep. But next year, that's still the goal. Really, it's just, can I beat my total last year? Still competing at 220. I'm 241 pounds right now. I'm going to diet down very slowly for the first several weeks, hopefully getting to walking around 230. I don't want to do such a big weight cut again this year. And, you know, of course, cliche, like, comment. I will answer any and all comments. My meal timing, what I eat, how much I eat, calories, how I program my meals, supplementation, PEDs, ask it all. I'm an open book. I have no problem answering any and all questions. So, yeah, baby, let's go.